whether you're adapting the previous
here's
book.
what's difficult. Here's what's difficult.
Yeah.
Is what happens is I try and think of an interesting way of looking at it.
Wrong answer.
And then you guys go, it just like doesn't fit with my vibe.
No, you're just wrong. Seven, you're just wrong. I'm sorry, but you're just flat out wrong. Stop trying to weasel your way back into this.
Hello everyone, Goat Gang everywhere. We are back. We are back. We are full up of mince pies, tinsel, New Year's Eve party popper confetti and crack cocaine. So now we've had our fill. It's time for more Goats. The show where each week we discuss the greatest of everything. I can't do a goat noise.
Can you not?
No, go on.
Just try and do a Jay-Z impression.
Yeah.
What?
Seb? Yeah. But anyway, Goats is the show where each week we discuss the greatest of everything. And for each topic, there can only be one winner, one goat. Now, if you like the show, maybe this is your first time listening, go back and listen to all the oldies. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram at @the_goats_pod. And all that lovely Christmas money you just got from your grandma, stick it in our Patreon, boy. Anyway,
Yeah, boy.
it's been a while.
Or gamble it all and then stick what your winnings on Patreon.
I like that idea.
Fuck it.
Put it
Get
all
an
on red.
Acheron. Get an Acheron. Give us the cash. Put a $5 on Luton to win the league. That happened once, so you know it's gonna happen again, isn't it? How many people do you think do that every single year? They know Leicester done it once, so every year they look at the bottom club and go $5 on that, mate.
I mean, why not? You'll lose a
why not,
fiver, but you might gain £3 million or whatever.
Yeah, I suppose, but you won't, will you?
Like
But anyway,
I wonder how many people
how-
bet on.
How have you been? How have you been, Seb?
It's fine. You obviously don't want to hear what I was.
No.
Yeah, I'm all right, mate. I'm all right. Yeah. I don't know, not much to report.
Back on the Jeffrey Dahmer look, I noticed. Have you been eating anyone recently?
Well, it's because I worked a bit late recently. Recently today, as in I worked late today, so I'm recording from the office, not at home. So yeah, I've got my Jade Arms glasses on because these are my work glasses because of my eyes from looking at screens and that. The most exciting thing that happened to me today is that I worked out a really good little hack for my lunch, so that was pretty good.
Do you want to share this hack? Every time someone says, "Oh, mate, I've got a hack for you," it's always shit. So go on. What is it?
Life hack with Sebek.
It's quite a good hack, actually. So, you know, my company, praise be to our podcast overlords, they give us a lunch budget, and obviously it's quite tempting to spend all that lunch budget in like the first 2 days of the week, and then you're just eating fucking home meals for the rest of the week. But what if I could sort of do an amalgamation of both? So I could have the delicious funness of home meals, but the excitement of outside meals. So what I did, yesterday, bought myself some tortilla wraps, some salad, and some chicken from Lidl, right?
Yeah.
That's my value option when I'm using the lunch money, but I'm trying to make it stretch, right? Today, because I did that yesterday, got a little bit more money in the tank to spend on other stuff. So I'm thinking, what do I do? I've still got my wraps, still got my salad. Go to the Thai place next door, buy 3 chicken satay skewers for like the price of a side dish, right? Unskewer them into my wrap, satay chicken wrap, mate.
Wow.
That's the most interesting thing that's happened to you over the last 3 weeks.
Yeah, you've learned how to budget a lunch budget for a week that's designed to be budgeted for a week.
Your stories have gone so far downhill, Sebek. I remember when you first started, you were like, yeah, by the time, there's one time I did fucking coke with Hitler. And now, look at you, I learned how to budget my meals.
Budget my lunch budget. It's like, guys, I've got a really good life hack, right? When you get your wages on the first of the month, that's supposed to last you all month, right? Don't spend it all in one day. And
What
be
the
poor
fuck?
for the rest of the month.
That's incredible.
Spread it out.
Write a
And then
book.
by the end of the month, hopefully, you might have enough to get by, and then you do
Don't
it
know.
again. Then
You're just jealous because I've been invited to Stephen Barnett's Diary of a CEO. Because
I wouldn't even go on that show.
I've got hacks, mate. I've got hacks coming out my ears, mate. Do you know what? Another one, right? Want to save a bit of money? When you go to the supermarket, fed up paying 10p for a bag, bring your own bag, mate.
Do you want to know a real supermarket hack? Weigh it as bananas.
That's illegal, mate.
Yeah.
That's
Well,
not.
I'll tell you what's illegal. Corporations, mate. Capitalism.
You've got a point, actually. You're right.
I mean, look.
Exactly.
Well, I'll just
Don't.
pull something interesting out my arsehole then.
That's true.
Yeah,
It's been so long. I can't remember all the things that have happened.
I'm buying a houseboat. That's still happening.
Yeah.
That's quite interesting.
You're moving in next week, right?
No, February the 17th will be on the
Oh
boat.
shit, that's way off that I when I thought
Yeah,
it
that's
would
a
be.
few weeks late. Yeah.
But yeah,
Nice.
and then we'll do oh my god, we can finally do the goat boat on a boat.
We already did Goat
Always-
Boat. We're not doing Goat Boat 2.
We
That's
did
not
Goat Boat
happening.
already. We're not doing Goat Boat 2, mate. You blew your load. You should have bought a boat before, mate.
Yeah. Just for the
That's so
bit.
annoying. This is
Your dream
almost
is
as angry
crushed.
as when I got home after even down to Devon before Christmas, and I realised I hadn't said to any of my work colleagues, "See you next year." Fucking heartbreaking. You only get to do that once a
yeah.
year.
Only once a year.
Wow. I missed it.
Wow. Okay.
Well,
Yeah, Vinny, you got any life hacks?
Right, I'm here. I'm trying to fucking bring some vibes, some energy.
no, mate. It's good. It's good.
I can't
It's
just
good to
keep
see
getting
you.
hit by bin lorries on my motorbike and like crash in. And
Well,
I
you
think
could.
it's mostly because I've stopped riding my motorbike to work. That's the majority of the reason that my life has got less terrifying.
Yeah. And you've seen less people doing backflips in their cars on the motorway as well.
Oh yeah, that was that. I mean, look, we've got the estate agent coming round. I've got to work out how to smuggle my cat because we're not supposed to have pets. That's weighing on my mind. I don't know how to do.
I know how to do it.
If you say kill it, we're gonna have
But anyway, Vinny, have you got any life hacks?
life hacks. I didn't prepare for this. I didn't write anything
What life
down.
hacks have you been doing the last 2 weeks?
Today actually, I received a letter in the mail saying that I could start my. Thanks for that one, Seb. Start my physiotherapy on my knee. So that's finally good because
Yeah.
that's
You've been
been a
whinging
thing
about that for years, mate.
for over
You are
2 years.
You are quite needy about it.
I never mention it ever.
You do. Every time I
really
play
don't.
football with you, you're like, "Oh, mate, my knee and that."
Literally, you think you'd have an ACL, mate? It's unreal.
Every day, you're like, "Oh, my knees are more fucked than Van Dijk's that one time."
Literally, I've heard you. You told me once that you thought you was going to go pro until your knee happened.
That was true though. That was true.
Yeah.
You had trials at West Ham under 19s.
Wenger saw me playing on a five-a-side once on the weekend. He like gave me a little nod, and this was back when before he signed Cesc Fabregas. I could have been the next Cesc Fabregas.
I heard you were best on the ball, not in everything else, but on the ball at the club,
I heard that too.
including the first team. Vinny might not even get that joke.
I do get that joke.
Oh, right, sweet.
My favourite thing about Billy Wingrove is calling him Willie Bingrove. Just the
If I
best thing.
like Billy. Billy's the sound one.
I know, but Jeremy Lynch, you can't say Laramie Ginge. You can! It's Laramie Ginge.
Wow.
Willie
Just calling him
Bingrove.
a cunt.
Making new life hacks live on this show. Isn't this great? Mork, what have you been up to over this festive season?
Oh, what have I been up to? Well, not very much exciting stuff, but I did today just randomly remember that I sent you two some voice notes on Christmas Day about 9 o'clock, and I was
I actually haven't listened to those. I
Oh, you
completely
probably
forgot.
should. They're quite funny. I was pretty hammered.
there was a lot of them, and I was just, it was on Christmas Day, and I was like, I just want to not, I want to just be like with my family, not look at this degeneracy.
My last one was just like, all right, boys, I know you're probably fucking pissed off at me talking to you and that.
Honestly, yeah, but Vinny, you can't talk because you fucking. I'm just at work, everything's fine, everything's normal, and then I don't check my phone for a couple of hours. Check back, and there's 200 voice notes, which start out as one of you being like, "Hey, have you thought about doing Goat film remake?" And then ends with Mork threatening to fucking chuck a toaster in the batter. And it's just absolute carnage. I don't know how it goes from one to the other. And I have to listen back to all of it. Because I listened to the first one.
You don't have to listen to it. You don't have to read mine and Mork's horrific comments to each other.
Do you know what it's like? Do you know what it's like? It's like when you're watching porn and then you skip forward a bit through the story and then they're already fucking and you're like, how did you go from there to there? I don't understand.
They
I have to go back and watch.
They're like a library, and they're just like, oh, you got that book? Oh, I need that book for this exam coming up. And then you skip forward 3 seconds, and he's like fucking she's getting nailed by 6 guys.
Yeah, how did this come from? I have to go back. That's literally what happens. It's it starts with just the most mundane, oh yeah, I'm working today or something, and then it was just
the test results came back. They're positive. I'm terminal. 3 seconds later, 5 guys, 2 monkeys, and an elephant.
What's happened here? Where are these 2? And then I have to go back and listen for the point where it descends. Sometimes it'll be 10, 15 minutes of voice notes. I'm just
it will always descend. That's the thing. Me and Vinny, we can't hold a proper conversation like 2 normal people. Just
that's true.
Every time.
There's nothing. We can't even say. I can't even give this as a full example because I can't say out loud the part of the punchline of this story. But the other day when we came on to have our chat, so last week, on the day we recorded, we had a chat to fucking work out what we were going to do for the next couple of weeks. The abhorrent things that have been written on that list in the 2 minutes that I hadn't been there were outrageous. Outrageous.
You weren't there for the whole thing, mate. You weren't there for the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was there for 10 minutes.
This is what happens when you're not there to mediate.
The audience is getting a real peek behind the curtain as to who's the creative.
We need you to keep us down to earth, Sebek.
Legitimately offensive suggestion.
Some of them were questionable, but what about Goat Liverpool midfielder? Why didn't you
Goat Liverpool centre midfield? That one's got legs, I reckon we do that for our 100th episode.
Just to put it into perspective, there was they'd written jokingly goat paedophile. That wasn't even
no, it's top 6. Top 6 paedophiles.
Top 6 paedophiles. That wasn't even in the top 6 things I was concerned about on that list. There was 6 things worse than that on the list. I had to be right, we're not doing that. We're not doing that. We're not doing that.
At one point, I just wrote Adolf Hitler. Just an episode dedicated to Adolf Hitler. Nothing about him being great on it. It's just Adolf Hitler.
Just talk about him. Just have a chat about him.
Adolf Hitler, the pros and cons. Right, we should crack on.
Yeah, we should crack on.
Yeah.
So, obviously, I described, this episode as a goats episode, but actually, we are discussing a woat, a worst of all time. Same shit, different end of the scale, right? Now, I want to start by asking you 2 a question. What does The Lion King, A Nightmare on Elm Street, and The Mummy have in common?
Allegations?
No.
Shall I do the one on QI who wants to get the answer right? Is it they've all been remade?
No, there's death in all of the movies.
Very good fact.
No, it is because they've all been remade. That's right. They're all movies with horrible, terrible, awful remakes. And if you oh god, it's right.
This is dross already.
If you Now, if you are a big movie lover like me, then you're also probably a big hater of the dreaded remakes. a film studio taking an absolute classic piece of art and just remaking it with worse CGI, worse actors, a slightly different story, and just butchering it and killing it. Just leaves such a sour taste in my mouth. It's fucking horrible. And I swear down, if they ever try to remake The Lord of the Rings or Back to the Future, I'll go fucking nuts, mate. I'll be going into the film studio swinging punches. Don't even think about it. But remakes are everywhere. Big studios love to cash in on a fat remake. And they will continue to do it forever and ever. They probably will remake Back to the Future. And it'll be a sad day. And this week, we're going to discuss the absolute worst of those remakes. These two degenerates have chosen their pick for the worst movie remake of all time. And it's my job to pick a winner. So, who is going first?
Me!
Could I go first? I'm quite passionate. I've got a lot of passion.
I'm very passionate about my answer.
No, but like I'm riding a high. I finished off my script just before we started. I'm really on like a
mate.
flow.
I'm fucked. I'm actually fucked. Like we need to get me in the studio whilst I'm fucked, or else I'm just gonna be like, you know.
I actually think Vinny said me slightly before as well.
Oh, you bastard! Of course you would.
No.
Oh, he's my best mate. Oh.
No, because I think he did, genuinely.
Can I just say this is
I had the me.
When you people listen to this podcast at home,
what do you mean, you people?
When you people listen to this and the drivel that this is, there's 2 points I would like to make back to back. First and foremost, one of the big factors in this show and why I enjoy it is it's like a grounding place in my life. Like it's a project that we work on. It's outside of my work. All of that stuff. It's like a project that I can put myself into. That's not my work. It's something I do every week. I get to see my mates. Think about how important that is to me, and think about how shit this is, and how sad that is. That it's such an important part of my life. And then also think about the fact that I get to come on, and I get to hang out with my two best mates, and I'm not either of their best mate.
This is so lame.
Look, I'm on a show with my two best friends, and they're best friends with each other, and not me.
Right, this is so lame. You can't be spouting all this rubbish.
Cry me a fucking river. Be better than Zeb. That was mean.
This is why we're going to replace you with ChatGPT, mate.
Oh my god, yeah. Yeah. We've got enough
just
footage.
type in our script into ChatGPT, type in both scripts and just say which is better.
We've got enough footage that we can make it like a very genuine sounding AI version of yourself, and we can make it say all the things that me and Walk.
Almost every word in the dictionary.
It'd probably be funnier.
Well, Vinny, do you want to go first?
Yeah, fuck you, Seb.
Just two best mates having a chat, and that other mate
wheel.
who tangentially knows both of them.
Two best mates and an acquaintance. That's what we should change this podcast name to.
You say
friend
that,
of a friend.
When you look in our server at the things, who's what? I'm like the lowest ranked member.
No, cum goblin's an important rank.
We need cum goblins like you.
I don't even have like admin capability. I can't even do anything. I don't even know how. So
that's because you can't be trusted. That's
you're
it's like
cyberbullying me.
It's like giving a monkey an AK-47. It's just not going to work out.
What? I wouldn't even know how to do bad stuff. I would Google it and find out that.
Yeah, you'd work out immediately. I mean, Vinny's bad enough. He's always changing the name and stuff, and fucking the WhatsApp group's called just the football podcast now.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that campaign to turn us into a football podcast. Anyway, so who do you think's Liverpool's greatest centre mid of all time?
Fuck's sake.
Oh, okay, come on.
Oh, hang on, I need to close the door.
Seb's like, shut the fuck up about Liverpool centre mid.
He came home.
He's just screaming up the stairs, Mascherano's underrated.
Yeah, right. Yeah, should we get into this? I'm keen.
Yeah.
I'm ready.
Yeah, go on.
Tell me when. By the way, you won't need a timer because I will be over time. Let's just put out there. I will be.
Go on then.
I'll try not to. I'll try not to be. I'll try.
Best mates who'll just let you off when he's fucking fine.
Fuck off.
Sevek, I've let you off way more than I've let Mork off in the past, so you can zip it.
It's because I can't write 2 pages, mate.
Right. So, first things first. I think when discussing film remakes, I think it is important to talk about its source material, i.e., the film it's actually remaking. Can we all agree on that?
I agree.
Because there are a shitload of remakes to films that they just don't need to exist. In no way in hell did that remake ever need to be made. And we talked about this before in like Go Foreign Film or whatever, but Old Boy is a great example of this. Old Boy, the original, is perfect. It does not need remaking in any way, which is why when they remade it, for American audiences, it's so hated and people just really, really don't like that film because why remake something that's perfect? But the plus side of those types of remakes is that because the original is perfect and it just doesn't need changing in any way, you can kind of just ignore the remake.
Yeah.
The thing. You could just you don't have to watch the American Old Boy. You could just go straight to the source material and just have a way better time. However, in my opinion, it is so much more unforgivable when a beloved film could kind of do with a remake to kind of iron out any flaws it sort of has.
Yeah.
But then the remake ends up completely missing all of the original movie's points and ideas, as well as becoming somehow more well-known than the original.
Yes.
That's the thing. When the remake's so bad, it's more well-known. It's a bad sign.
When the remake is quite bad, but gets like a big push and a big marketing budget, so sort of still makes like kind of good money, and then it's sort of reviewed all right, and you're like, oh, but it could have been. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Could have been better. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So without further ado, I will be discussing why I think 2006 The Wicker Man is the worst movie remake of all time.
Ooh,
It's a good shout. Nick Cage.
Nick Cage. The boobies.
I like Nick Cage.
We'll get into that, Sevek. We'll get into that. But first, as stated at the beginning, I will be talking about the original 1973 version first, just so I can really hit home how fucking terribly they dropped the bag on the source material. So 1973's The Wicker Man. Ed Woodward, which is a great name, by the way. And there's also the guy who owned Man United for a while, wasn't it? Ed Woodward, right? The director.
Ed Woodward.
But anyway, Ed Woodward stars as Sergeant Neil Howie, a British police officer who travels to the remote island of Summerisle off of the coast of Scotland in search of a young girl who has disappeared there. Howie quickly realizes that the residents on the island seem to all be hiding something, however. He comes into contact with Summerisle's leader. It's a man by the name of Lord Summerisle, who's played by the late, great Christopher Lee, who then explains to Howie that the island follows pagan customs, which conflict greatly with the sergeant's very strong Christian values. And I'm just going to do a little side note, fun fact. Now we're talking about Christopher Lee. Christopher Lee maintained throughout his career that The Wicker Man was the best film he acted in, and he loved the script so much he worked completely without pay to get the movie done.
Yeah, wow. I heard him talking about that in an interview. That's his favourite film he's ever made. Yeah, it's the best film.
Yeah, so this will go to show again, it's a very beloved film.
Yeah. The thing is, because I saw that interview, and like you said, when the remake's so famous, I was like, hang on, he wasn't in that movie.
Yeah.
Because I was thinking of the Nick Cage. I was like, what the fuck? And then I looked at it, I was like, oh shit, there was a... remembered. Oh yeah, people hate it because it's a remake.
Yeah. So, without getting too much into detail, because I literally could sit here and chat your ears off about all the great things about the original Wicker Man. But basically, the entire movie just has this really surreal and kind of quirky atmosphere. It is genuinely, utterly like no other film I've ever seen before. I really can't put another film next to it and put them side by side at all. The biggest theme of the 73 Wicker Man is this idea of Christianity versus paganism, a theme which was a hell of a lot more relevant back in 1970s Britain. That being said, the way it presents its ideas and its cult horrors are done so intelligently and so subtly that it really does still hold up today. It's been dubbed, and this is kind of a pretentious title, but I do agree with it. It has been dubbed the Citizen Kane of the horror genre. However,
Citizen Kane's overrated, but yeah.
I can see the flaws in this gem. It could be a bit dry, a little bit dull at times. Despite it kind of being considered a horror movie, the vast majority of it is way more like a detective sort of mystery crime thriller.
Yeah.
It's a thriller, really, isn't it?
It's like a mystery. It's like a mystery
it's on the
crime
line.
thing.
It's a bit like,
it's kind of on the line.
you know how like Seven is like kind of on the line, like it is a,
Oh, it has lots of horror elements. Yeah.
but it's like
Yeah.
it is kind of more of a thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a crime thriller at the end of the day. Yeah. I don't know if I talk about this later, but like, the reason why it's a horror is because of basically the ending. That's what makes The Wicker Man a horror. If you've, I don't know if you guys know about the ending or what the movie essentially builds up to, but that's essentially what makes it a horror, the ending. But another thing that, you know, I could see the flaws in it with is that, like, it's kind of too quirky for its own good at times. I think sometimes the quirkiness can kind of take you out of the sort of kind of creepy and eerie atmosphere that it tries and does really well to build up throughout the film. And although the sort of Christianity versus paganism themes are still, they're quite interesting, they definitely don't hit home nearly as much as they did when Christian values were still very much a core aspect of British society, i.e. in the 1970s when that film first came out. It feels completely ahead of its time, but that can kind of show sometimes. Like, it's a bit too surreal and strange. Which is why the idea of a remake is actually such a welcome one, at least to me. That is until you watch the 2006 American remake and you realize that Hollywood probably should stay as far away as possible from this franchise.
Yeah.
So we're actually going to talk about the remake. Don't worry, I will talk about the remake. So directed by Neil LaBute, who, exactly, and starring the one, the only, Nick fucking Cage!
That was fucking incredible.
That is one of the best Nick Cage impressions I've ever heard, and I know you've been practicing that. I know you've been stressing about, oh man, I got to do my Nick Cage thing, but you get a clap from me, Vinny. That was incredible.
It's from the have you seen the film The Unbearable Weight of Massive Talent?
No.
Oh, it's incredible. It's incredible.
Yeah. It's actually really good. It's really funny.
Yeah. I need to see it because everyone has said it's so good.
But yeah, so as you can tell, and you know, you were saying earlier that you quite liked Nick Cage. Sebek, I fucking love Nick Cage. He's genuinely one of my favorite actors of all time. He will make any boring, mediocre kind of meh script immediately entertaining if they just give him any amount of freedom to just do whatever the fuck he wants, because he's just that zany and insane
for
of a
better or
character.
for worse, sometimes
It's always entertaining, but it's
always entertaining, whether it's good proper entertainment or what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's got such a weird batting average. It's like either out the park or a P roller. There's no
Yeah.
middle ground.
Yeah,
And if
that's true.
you're up for it, I feel like if you're up for that, great. If you're not, sometimes it can kind of blindside you, and you're like, okay, what? You're watching like a pretty good movie, and then Nick Cage comes in like, wah, and you're like, whoa, what?
I mean, it's so odd. Like, he just does these like incredibly well thought out performances, and then the next one will just be like absolute mayhem, and you're like, what
Yeah.
the fuck? Like, what's the one he won? What's the one he won his Oscar for? What was that?
Oh, I did look this up yesterday, actually.
It was like he's like in Italy. There's some.
No, it's like a casino thriller or something, like a Las Vegas thriller.
It's incredible. It's like absolutely incredible. And then the next one is like the next movie's like awful.
He is a good actor. It's just
Yeah.
It's just I think he phoned in the majority of his performances.
He was in G-Force.
God, he was in G-Force.
He did a voice in G-Force.
Oh, okay.
Don't mention that movie to more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm reasonably familiar with that movie. Zach Galifianakis was in it as well. Maybe I should rewatch it.
Did you just say Jack as a Freudian slip there?
Did I say Anyway, Nick Cage, yeah, go.
Nick Cage. Yeah, I fucking love Nick Cage. And Nick Cage, obviously, he stars in the 2006 Wicker Man.
Yes.
And it really is no exception. The Wicker Man, like the 2006 one, the remake, it is sort of considered one of those so bad it's good type movies.
Yeah.
But I've watched the whole thing. I haven't just watched the best funny bits, bass boosted Family Guy moments on YouTube.
with the Minecraft jumping in the bottom of the screen.
Yeah. Subway subs.
Bit like how Seb did his research for Jaws 4, right?
Do you know how many people said to me? Over Christmas that was a robbery? So many.
No, it's not a fucking robbery.
No,
How many of those people watched the Gummy Bear movie?
Bollocks.
I don't know.
None. I guarantee none.
Hannah said it was a robbery. Stephen said it was a robbery.
Have they watched the Gummy Bear?
Do you think it's a robbery? Sebby, do you actually genuinely...
Yeah, I do, yeah.
First of all, you didn't watch the film, so that you're disqualified. Second of all, it sounds funny, not bad. So you're wrong.
You didn't watch the Gummy Bear movie either.
Yeah, have you seen the Gummy Bear movie?
Watch the Gummy Bear movie in a room.
Loads of people back me up on the Sherlock Holmes things, and they said, if you go into fists, we'll back you.
If you're going what?
Go with fists.
Well, you obviously hang out with a lot of deranged people, I think.
Yeah. Sorry, everyone listening to this who agrees with Sam. Unfortunately, you're wrong as well.
You're no real fans of goats.
No, honestly, though, I'm willing to hear your opinion. If you genuinely think that was a robbery, sit in a dark room by yourself, keep your eyelids wide open with, like, toothpicks, and watch the Gummy Bear movie. And then come and tell me it was a robbery, okay? Because that's the worst shit you'll ever see in your entire life. But we're talking about the Wicker Man, right?
Yeah, so it is labeled. It's one of those films that's labeled as so bad it's good. But I've actually watched the whole movie, and I could say that there are a few scenes, and you could just watch the 10 minutes that is all the funny scenes in the movie. Like, there's a few scenes, and like the last 10-15 minutes are very, very unintentionally extremely funny because of Nick Cage's weird, wacky performance mixed with the really terrible script. But it's the sort of film, it's less than 2 hours, but I thought it was like a 2.5 hour film. It felt like it felt longer. It was, it's not good. It's boring. It's bad in more of a lazy way for the most part than it is bad in a very funny way. You know, a few scenes outstanding, that is. But I am getting ahead of it myself, so I'll sort of talk about the actual movie. So, for the most part, for all intents and purposes, the remake does follow pretty much the same plot. The key difference is that instead of this theme of Christianity versus paganism, which is quite interesting, I've never seen that in a film before. It has lots of interesting things to say without explicitly saying them, kind of thing. it's more like men versus women. So on the island they're on, it's a matriarchal society with the character of Lord Summerisle being replaced in the remake with a woman called Sister Summerisle. Now, the women on the island far outnumber the men and are basically the only educated people on the island, whereas the men are essentially just used for breeding, and that's it.
Fucking sign me up, mate.
I don't think I hear one of them even speak, other than just going like, ugh. You know, I don't think they could write or speak. It's kind of like very extreme like that. But despite this key difference, the remake really does no attempt to even kind of engage with this idea other than the women just saying, oh, men bad, and Nick Cage being like, oh, this is weird. And that's literally as far as it goes. It
doesn't go any deeper than that. It's very shallow. It's just, right, let's just...
Yeah, and I can tell they didn't want to do that thing because Christianity's not as... I mean, maybe in America it's probably still quite big, but anyway, it's still... It's not as not as relevant as it was back in the 70s, not for certain. And sorry, getting ahead of myself. Director Neil Breen seems like he has less. Sorry, director Neil Breen's.
Neil Breen directed it. Holy
that would have made it fucking a 10 out of 10. That would have made it go. Director Neil LaBute. Director Neil LaBute seemed less interested in having anything thought-provoking to say and more interested in trying to elevate the cult-like horror elements. Now, I don't really mind this change. I think fair enough. The original, it definitely had some eerie atmosphere, but it was kind of a bit goofy and quirky at times, and it kind of took you... It was a bit tonally all over the place for, until the last, the finale at least. And it definitely shits on the big reason why the original is beloved. But honestly, horror films, they don't really need to have anything that interesting to say, I think, as long as they have great atmosphere and like genuinely scary moments that aren't just cheap thrills. I think that can make... That's enough to make it a good horror film,
Yeah.
But it will come as no surprise that this film completely flubs this aspect as well. For example, take the scene where the main character first encounters the island's residents. He asks them if they know about the missing child. He asks them if they know anything about the missing child. In the original, Sergeant Howie talks to a group of men who all seem to be giving kind of a bit non-answers. And they kind of give this sort of eerie impression that they know something but they won't say. But like you could also chalk that up to they're on a remote island and this is an outsider and they probably don't like outsiders, so that's why they're being so it's sort of it gives you questions.
It creates a mystery.
It creates a mystery. It doesn't explicitly say anything. It sort of implies kind of things that might be like there, and it's a great introduction to the sort of atmosphere of the movie going forward, and this sort of weird village where everyone seems to be in on something and the police officer is the outsider, and he's it's quite scary. He's on a remote island. The remake, however, throws all subtlety away immediately. Nick Cage arrives on the island and talks to some women who all very blatantly know something is amiss, but explicitly refuse to engage with Nick Cage's questioning. There's even a bit where he holds up a picture of the girl and says, "Have you seen this girl?" And one of them is just like literally looking in that direction. He goes like, "No, I haven't seen her before." I don't know why she's Irish or they're American. but she's like very like aggressive, like, "No, I haven't seen her before." And he's like, "Oh, yeah, it helps look at the picture," and like it's very it's so obvious that they're like, "Oh, something's happening here. We won't tell you." Yeah. And there's this really weird interaction in that scene as well, where there's like a couple dudes holding this like sack that's sort of bloody, and they're taking it from the harbor, and it's sort of like shaking around, and it's kind of sort of implying like maybe there's a body in that bag, something really creepy like that. And so the women invite Nick Cage to look into this suspicious looking bag, and he sort of leans in, and it starts getting more serious music. And then it sort of jerks and he jumps, and that makes the women laugh, and then he just leaves without even looking in the bag for some reason.
He just doesn't even look in it.
Yeah, he gets scared by it jerking
Fuck's sake.
and just leaves. What kind of police officer does that? Like, if you're suspicious that there's probably something foul play, like very obviously, this seems like there might be foul play here. He's just like, no, they made fun of me. I'm gonna go read or something.
That is the telltale sign of a horrible remake. I know, like, Old Boy sticks in my mind particularly because I love the original so much. Easily, maybe my favorite movie of all time.
Yeah,
It's close between that and Step Brothers, obviously, but
obviously.
like the remake, just that's the thing I love about Old Boy so much is the twists. The twist ending is insane, and the thing is about the remake is it just gives it all away. It's not subtle. There isn't really a twist. Because it just gives you the answers instantly through shit dialogue and just straight up. I feel like they think the audience is so stupid they might not get it anymore, so they just tell them straight away. And it's like the same thing where, like, in the original Wicker Man, they're kind of like, you don't know if the islanders know about the girl. You're not sure, and it's like, well, it could, and it creates tension and it creates mystery.
There's literally
but then in the remake, they think they're fucking stupid, so they're like, oh, let's make it obvious that they know, but they're like not telling them and that. So the audience, who are a bunch of fucking idiots, are gonna actually get it. And it's like, that's not the point. That's not good storytelling or good filmmaking. And the thing is, it was even if it was just a standalone movie, it'd be fine. But you've got a source material to go off. If you just shot for shot remake the fucking thing, it'd actually be better, even though it'd be more lazy.
That is what makes a remake so difficult. Horrible. Is that there's immediately something to compare it to.
Yeah.
So just don't remake them.
I mean, well, my part of my whole point is that this movie probably could have done with a remake,
but not a horrible one.
But yeah. So that scene that I just described is about as far as it goes for any genuine quote unquote scary moments in the film. Just really shitty jump scares with no real build up, and they're just as predictable as you can imagine. There's even this really fucking terrible scene where he's sat at the docks. And then he sees the sort of pale corpse under the water, and he immediately thinks it's the girl he's looking at, like trying to find. He then jumps into the water to try save her, and just before he gets to her, he wakes up. He was asleep, and then he looks down, and then the camera zooms out, and it's like a woo scary sound effect. It's the girl. She's dead. It's a corpse in his hands, and then he wakes up again.
For fuck's sake. I hate that he wakes up
and then wakes up again.
The worst bit of storytelling, but then to do it again.
Wake up.
This is
he wakes up. It was all a dream. Is the worst movie trope ever. If you're a young aspiring filmmaker, here's my advice: don't fucking do it because it's horrible. Write a better story.
This is genuinely like a 12-year-old's idea of a scary moment. I'm not joking.
Yeah.
And I could go on and on, scene after scene, with just really shit dialogue, really unsubtle, quote-unquote, creepy acting that just comes off more wooden than an oak tree, which is a line I wrote.
Ooh!
It's the sort of movie that when you question any part of it for more than 3 seconds, you'll realize the director didn't put more than 2 seconds of thought into anything that he wrote down. He also wrote the screenplay. So, very much him to blame.
Yes.
The only good part of the movie, unintentional as it is that final 15 minutes that I was alluding to earlier, which, and I will talk about because it's really great. It's fantastic. But
even then, it's good for the wrong reason. Still.
Oh yeah, it's not like it's played out to be scary.
It's not good.
It's played out to be like a horror thriller, but it's just hilarious. So it starts with Nick Cage fucking flooring some old woman, and then just goes on this rampage across the island. If you haven't seen Nick Cage in a bear costume decking some lady, then you haven't lived. And there's obviously also that really famous scene where Nick Cage has got like that beehive on him and he's going, no, not the bees, no.
The bees.
Yes, that is meant to be a scary, disturbing movie moment. Yes, it is actually fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
The original movie's climax is so good and so disturbing that it pretty much overshadows the entire film. The whole original film is essentially one massive build-up to the big ending, the big climax, and that's what makes the climax so satisfying in such a horrific way, is because it's sort of eerily leading you up to it, but not
it leads you up to it.
Yeah, exactly, and especially because it's not particularly horror up until that bit. It really smacks you right in the face. It's really like impactful like that. But the remake doesn't do that, obviously. It just gives Nick Cage, freedom to be Nick Cage, which I love that. I'm a big fan of that. But that's the only compliment I will give this film, is that they just said to Nick Cage, just do whatever the fuck you want. And I genuinely think that's what and he was like, I'm just going to wear a bear costume and take the fuck out of this woman. It's so fucking funny. He's like running up to her in this bear costume, and the lady thinks it's like some other woman. So she's like, Sister Cherry? And then he just fucking lamps her in the face.
I've seen it, but I'm just going to watch it again just because I feel like I have to. Nick Cage, bear suit.
Yeah. Hang on, I'll get up for whoever wants to watch.
Yeah, put it on the Discord.
Even the music isn't very creepy.
Quality's really shit.
Away from me.
It's his like marching is great.
Yeah.
I thought I told you to wait for me.
I started it earlier than you. I just see the punch. The punch is so good.
Oh my god.
What's wrong,
my
sister?
God.
Whoop-a-ham.
Oh, incredible.
That's a horror film. That's a really scary moment.
Oh, I'm so creeped out. The thing is, the creepy music. Yeah, I thought I told you to wait for me. She doesn't even say anything. She's just like,
yeah, the whole film. She just has that vacant impression. Like it's impression. Vacant expression on her face the entire time. She's like,
it's almost like she's like, oh my fucking god, I can't actually believe I'm acting next to Nick Cage still.
This is my theory. They just said Nick Cage. They didn't hand him a script. They just fucking put him in a scene and then just watched him do his magic, and that's why everyone around him just is like, oh, what the fuck? So in conclusion, I'm wrapping this up. How far over time am I?
Probably about 5 minutes.
Oh my god. Sorry about that. So, in conclusion, 1973's The Wicker Man is a staple of horror cinema. It inspired the cult horror subgenre and was so far ahead of its time, only in retrospect has it really been given its accolades. It is, in my opinion, though, not without its flaws. Meaning a remake could have honestly been a great idea had they not exchanged interesting ideas for stale horror themes, subtle creepy dialogue for laughably bad acting, and one of the most iconic movie endings ever for No, Not the Bees. The saddest thing is that the 2006 remake is far more well known than the original.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is it.
I agree. I think that's a great pick because I think that it epitomizes everything that a bad remake, like it epitomizes everything that makes a bad remake. The need for it, like the potential for a remake. Everyone's saying, you know what? Maybe a remake of The Wicker Man would be really good. Bit of a modern twist.
Yeah, the film came out in 1973. Yeah. It's old as fuck.
40
like
years later, let's ramp it up. Let's make this like modern and really good. Fucking hell, Nick Cage is gonna be in it. Holy shit! And then it's watered down. Dialogue stinks. There's no twist. There's no build up. Nick Cage decks a woman in a bear costume.
It's very funny.
Like, but the thing is, it's not meant to be funny as well. Like, that's the thing. They couldn't even get that right. Like, even the bit where they're trying to be serious and horrifying, yeah, it's good that it's funny, but it actually makes it even worse that it's funny because it's not even fucking supposed to be funny. That wasn't the intention. It was supposed to be horrifying. And like I know that the 1978 version is pretty well loved. It's a cult classic, really. 73, sorry, yeah, is a cult classic. So
yeah, that's a cool film.
Yeah, and it's got Christopher Lee in it. R.I.P.
Yeah, yeah.
Nice, Vinny. That's a fucking great shout.
Thank you.
That is a great shout. Better than probably better than Lion King. What you were gonna pick? When did you pick? What were you gonna say, Seb?
I need to go for a wee. That was all I was going to say.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Come on. Who says it isn't? Right, Vinny. That was incredibly interesting and thought-provoking.
Was it?
Yeah. Now, let's go on to the middle bit. So, movies.
Yes.
They have actors in them.
They do.
No way.
Actors are celebrities. And like
Right.
bad movie remakes, Hollywood has a dark side. So, let's keep it topical this week. We're going to dive into the released Epstein documents. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give you a celebrity, and I want you to guess the age.
Yeah! Celebrity. I knew it'd come back. This is the remake of Celebrity Paedophile Higher or Lower that we always needed.
Hey, he got the joke, yes. No, it's actually not a remake of Celebrity Paedophile Higher or Lower. We're never remaking that quiz ever again.
Because it was too perfect.
It was ahead of its
It
time.
was horrifying.
Celebrity Paedophile Higher or Lower was ahead of its time, I tell you.
Yeah, well, no, we're not doing that. What we're doing is an even better, more simple game. I'm going to give you a movie, the original, and the year it was made. I want you to guess the year that it was remade, and the closest answer wins.
Okay, good. I like that. Yeah, I'll do it.
Yeah. And in fairness, on the theme of fairness, because Vinny went first, Vinny, you get to guess first on the first question. Now I'm joking.
That seems fair.
As the only person I would consider a friend, not a colleague on this podcast.
Two friends
Not
and
an
a colleague.
associate of mine.
Oh my god.
Two friends in the associate podcast. You know what? I'm just saying. Anyway, no, Seb, you get to go first. So the first movie is the 1960 classic Psycho. Yes, Vinny. Psycho, 1960 classic. What year did they butcher and remake this movie?
I saw this on one of the lists, the many lists. For some reason, I want to say... Feels too late, but I'm going to say 2011.
2011. Vinny.
I believe it was in the 90s. I'm going to go 95.
Was it? Oh, shit.
You're saying 95?
Yeah.
1 point to Vinny because it was 96.
Oh, well done, Vinny. Well done.
Very close. 36 years after, which is probably about average. That's about average time that a movie can be remade. About 30 odd years, 30 plus years. They tend to remake them.
We talked.
It was fucking horrible.
Yeah, we someone said earlier that like we would just having a shot for shot remake of the 73 Wicker Man would have been better than what we got. But like, yeah, the Psycho remake is literally a shot for shot remake of a classic film. So like, unless you're somehow gonna outact the original actor who like gives incredible performance, like what's the point? What is the point?
That's the thing. A remake can be horrible even because it's a shot for shot remake as well. That's the thing, is it can be horrible.
Yeah, it's so devoid of any creativity.
Yeah, you got to be creative and stick to the source material. Now, Vinny, this is a movie I know you love. It's 1974's Black Christmas.
Ah, fuck. Oh, yeah.
What year did they remake this classic, I want to say, and I might be wrong, so please butcher me if I am, but I want to say this was kind of the first horror Christmas movie. First big one anyway. And it was actually one of the first ever slasher films as well. It was a pioneer in the slasher genre, Black Christmas. It's a very well-loved movie in the horror industry.
I've never seen the original, by the way.
You only seen the remake?
Yeah, I saw the remake when I was really young.
Yeah, and you liked it. Well, you go and watch the original and you'll flip tides. So
probably.
But what year was that movie made then? The remake?
I'm gonna go with 2005.
2005. Seb?
I've not heard of this film. I've not seen either, so I'm going to say 1990.
Vinny takes it again. Fucking hell, it was 2006.
I was one away again.
We've got a nerd in the building, boy.
I actually did watch it in 2006 as well. That's the thing.
Yeah. Wow.
We got some nerds
2 points for
in
Vinny Dog. Seb, a movie that is very dear to my heart. 1978. John Carpenter. Halloween. I love that movie. But Rob Zombie fucking remade it. Horribly. And a sequel. Even worse. And what year did that remake come out?
It's so difficult because there's been there was like Halloween.
There's been a lot of sequels, but this was the first reboot, restarting remake of the original movie.
I feel like it was quite recent, but then it can't have been that recent because Rob Zombie did it.
So I think they've done it again.
So
very
it's not
recently.
the again. Okay,
No, I'm talking about
okay.
the first time they remade it, the Rob Zombie.
That's got to be like, if it's got Rob Zombie on it, it's got to be like, what, 2008?
2008, okay.
Yeah, it is around 2008, I'm pretty sure. Like, it's either... I feel like it's either 7 or 9, though. 2007 or 2009. I'm gonna go with... Let's go with 2009.
Seb, you are right, 2008. But the film was made in 2007. You should have gone with 7, Vinny. One of you is going to get one of these on the nose any minute. 2007, yeah. I was actually really excited for the remake because, again, like, I didn't want it to be remade, but I was like, okay, well, you know, horror movies always get rebooted and they always get remade. Like, they've done it with all of them, Friday the 13th, all of them. And I'm always interested because I love the classics so much. I'm like, let's just see kind of, can they bring something new to the table that's, you know, even better? And the answer every single time is no, they fucking can't. It's horrible. Stop doing it.
I don't remember it being terrible. I just remember it being fine. It was okay.
Yeah, but against the movie, like
the original is so good. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't. It leaves bad taste in your mouth. Now, the movie Mean Machine came out in 2001, and it was remade for an American. Mean Machine is about a prison, and it's got like all your classic old school prison hard men from back in 2001. It stars Vinnie Jones, and they make a football team to play against the guards, and it's called Mean Machine, and they remade it for an American audience with Adam Sandler and Chris Rock. I actually called The Longest Yard, and this isn't about. I actually quite like The Longest Yard.
I used to like it a lot when I was a kid.
It's a good movie. It's
I
a
can
fine
see the poster
comedy.
in my head.
Yeah, it's a fine comedy flick, and it's American football. And like I said, Mean Machine came out in 2001. But when did The Longest Yard come out?
Didn't it have Chris Tucker in as well?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Am I being racist?
It's Chris Rock.
That's Fuck.
Editor, can you edit out the bit where I went and agree with it? I didn't have to.
I did actually say Adam Sandler and Chris Rock, but
oh, sorry, I didn't. Yeah, sorry.
But anyway, Seb, when did?
Oh, was it me first? I thought I went first last time.
Actually, you know what?
Yeah, you did.
The Longest Yard is The Mean Machine is a remake of The Longest Yard, and then The Longest Yard is a remake of Mean. There's an even older version of The Longest Yard. I just remembered.
or something, isn't it?
Yeah, and Britain remade it, and then America remade it again, because in The Longest Yard, the newest version, and then he said the guy who's like the old school guy from the prison, he is the main character. He's Adam Sandler's character in the original
Right.
Yeah.
from like the 70s.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm talking about the latest version, the Adam Sandler one.
And it's me to guess, isn't it?
Is it you?
Yeah, I
Yeah, it is. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, it is
Yeah,
you.
so
Yeah,
you got
Vinny, it's
Halloween.
you. So, Mean Machine 2001. When was The Longest Yard made?
I'm just gonna go with. I'm gonna go with. It's around that year. It's like 2000. I'm gonna go with 2006.
Oh, you fuck! I was going to say 2006. I'm going
now.
to just say. I'm actually going to say 2005. Because I
Seb,
feel
you're
like
bang on the money. It is 2005.
Ah, nice.
I know they only left it 4 years before they remade it.
I've been fucking
then they
1 year
sort of
off
didn't
every single
because of the other
time.
one.
Huh?
No, I was 2 years off, and the other one.
They sort of didn't remake it because it was a remake of a remake. So then
Yeah, I
maybe,
know. But I
feel
don't
like
think they
that
would have
affects
made The
the
Longest Yard had they not made Mean Machine. I thought and seen, oh, that was successful. Let's do it again. And they did. They did it pretty quickly. Now, Seb, another movie that's very dear to my heart. And again, the original came out in 1953. I think there was maybe an earlier version, although I think this is the earliest film adaptation of this. But I'm talking about War of the Worlds. And tidbit, I saw the 1953 version when I was about 7 or 8. And the scene where the little alien with like he's got like 3 green lights on his head. It's like a green light, a yellow light, and a blue light or something. That's like his eyes.
Yeah.
He creepily comes into this hut. It scared me for about 5 years. I couldn't go to bed with the light off for like half of my childhood because it's fucking terrified me so much. That one scene was so scary. And this was a movie that was made in 1953. And recently I went back and watched it because I was like, I didn't think about it then. I just, but recently I was like, oh shit, I wonder if I can find that scene on YouTube. I found it, and I'm glad that I wasn't the only one. All the comments were, holy fuck, this scene scared the shit out of me for like years and years and years. So it's a great movie, but 1953 was the OG. When did the, in my opinion, bad remake, the Tom Cruise one?
The Tom Cruise remake.
When did the Tom Cruise one come out? Also, I guarantee they're going to make a new one of it again soon because War of the Worlds is just such a classic story. Like the radio, we used to listen to the album. It's like an album, isn't it? We used to listen to the album in the car all the time. It's really good.
Oh yeah, it's like
an album story.
Space rock opera or something, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fucking sick.
Rock opera.
Yeah.
It feels very around the. It's very cinematically. I know this sounds weird. It has that same grey color grading that 8 Mile has. I know they're completely different films, but it's very of that time.
Yeah.
Which makes me think it's about. It's sort of it's before I Am Legendy. It's like just I'd say like 2004. Feels very 2004 to me.
Potentially not.
That's how it goes.
I remember they parodied it loads in Scary Movie 4, which when did that come out?
It's always a good sign.
2008 or something.
Oh, that's a good way.
I have no idea when Scary Movie 4 came out, but that's good logic.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with 2006.
So Seb, you went with 2004.
Was it
Vinny, you went with
2005?
2006.
Maybe 2005. Then.
It's 2005, so I'm going to call that one a draw.
Okay.
I'm going to say no points for that one because I can't really separate it. But I have to say, both of your guesses, pretty much every single time, other than Seb's Psycho guess, have been fucking well close. Like one off every single time. So fair play. Now, another classic horror movie, Nightmare on Elm Street. You'll notice a lot of these are horror movies because they always get remade. Nightmare on Elm Street came out in 1984 and actually starred Johnny Depp as one of the teenagers before he was big. But they remade it again horribly. In what year, Vinny?
I'm going to say 2011.
2011.
So I remember watching it with you around that time. I think we watched it together.
We've seen it together, 100%, yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like it might have been I'm going to say 2009.
It's another draw. 'cause it's
2010.
2010.
For fuck's
Fuck's
sake.
sake.
Fucking hell.
Oh.
You guys, honestly, you're so good at it. Are you fucking Googling it? You're like texting each other like, let's just Google the answers. Let's just piss off Mork. Damn, well, I did a tiebreaker question. Good job, because with the draws included, is 2 apiece. Don't draw this one.
Okay.
Fucking telling you. Right. Another classic horror movie dear to my heart. And this one's a three-peat, but we'll only talk about one of the remakes. The Thing from Another World came out in 1951. They then remade it. Our boy John Carpenter remade it with The Thing in 1982, which originally came to a lot of criticism. They didn't like it. And then afterwards, they were like, are we fucking stupid? This is sick. Look at the special effects. I've spoken about that movie before. Best practical effects since Riccio. So watch The Thing 1982.
Some accolade.
They made The Thing again, and obviously less practical effects, special effects. Fucking dreadful movie. Dreadful remake. What year was The Thing remake in? Seb. 1982 was the original I'm talking about.
I'm really lost. I really am lost. Thing is, I don't remember. So it's out of my memory of films coming out and that means it was before I got a TV. So it was before probably 2000. It's pre 2009 because I don't remember seeing adverts for it on TV, and I don't remember my school friends talking about it. Unless it's like more recent than that, maybe it's like. No, I'm gonna say like 2002.
2002. Okay.
It could be like last year. I don't fucking know.
I'm gonna go with 2016.
Shit.
2016. I actually need to do some maths. So then you said 2016.
Oh, that means it's closer than I thought.
Not actually that much closer because I'm bad at maths, but we have a winner. And the winner is
Vinny.
my only friend on the podcast, Vinny.
Yay!
It came out in 2011.
Damn.
It was 2011.
Didn't they remake it again more recently? Am I just imagining that?
Yeah, maybe they did.
I think you're imagining it. I don't think they remade it again.
Maybe I'm thinking of Evil Dead.
Again.
Evil
Dead, they remade again. Yeah, no, there's only 2011.
Oh, okay. I think I might
hasn't been one since.
I think I'm thinking of Evil Dead then, because that was
Yeah,
quite
didn't
recent, wasn't
Netflix
it?
do an Evil Dead thing?
They did Ash versus the something.
Oh, right,
or
yeah,
other,
yeah.
I think.
Although the 2011 The Thing has a 6.2 on IMDb. The thing is, it's quite easy to get those ratings because it's quite shot for shotty as well. But it's just, I mean, the actual The Thing from 82 has an 8.2, which for a horror movie is crazy.
Here's the trouble as well, is that like I feel like because making films has got objectively easier, even bad films, it's really hard to make a really bad film now. Like, it's really actually quite difficult. Like look at like Aquaman. Like that should have been shit, but just because like if you just spend enough money, it'll be all right. Like Aquaman
It'll be
has like
watchable at least. Yeah,
it has like a 7%, like a 70% on Rotten Tomatoes. Like it's fine. Like it's really hard to make like a really bad film, even if everyone says they hate it.
I don't agree with that.
I mean, the Gummy Bear saves Christmas.
There's a lot.
No, but like, look at
fucking god awful films coming out.
There is, but it's hard not. I take it back. It's hard not to remake a franchise and still get a lot of ticket sales, and get like look at like fucking Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny. All I've heard is bad things about that film. But if you look, it still gets like a 50%. Because like some people just watched it and went, "Oh, he's got the hat and the horse." So
yeah, there's a bit of nostalgia
like,
there. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like it's like really difficult.
Yeah, no,
it's like all the fucking Disney remakes.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
People are still going to give them a high rating even though they're horrible.
It's
But yeah,
interesting
well
that you
done.
said. It's interesting you said that. What was it? That film? What was the last one we did?
The
The
Thing.
Thing came out in 2011. Bad year for films, or at least it would have been. Except my film got pushed back to 2012. More on that later. That's what we call in the business a segue.
Nice.
And you
Seb,
hooked me in as
go
well.
on then.
Okay, can I crack on?
Yes, you can. Go.
Give him 10 minutes because I went for 20. Only make,
Yeah,
make it
obviously.
fair.
Yeah,
Fuck
that'll
off.
be fair.
Fuck off. Right. I have a question for you two and the audience. I just want you to have a think. For you, what is worse? And I've got three options here, and they're quite complicated. So let me read them out before you inevitably butt in. A bad remake of a good movie that didn't need a remake, like some people would say of like Total Recall. Like Total Recall, great film. Why did they need to remake it? It was great as it was. Or Old Boy, yeah. Or a bad remake of a movie that people wanted to be good the first time, but was a disappointment. So it was like a good IP, like they remade a book or a film or something, and it was shit. And then they were like, "We're going to remake it," and then it's fucking bad again, and it's like even more disappointing. Which is what some people say about Dune, because everyone loves the Dune books and the first Dune film. Some people like it. It's like a bit of a cult classic, but generally thought it was not very good. And then they remade it, and then people were like, "Oh, it's not very good." I actually quite liked the new one, but
I thought loads of people loved it. What are you talking about? I thought it was like
the new
acclaimed. Yeah, I thought it was critically and audience acclaimed.
I thought it was
It's
too.
one of those, like,
but
maybe it depends who
I
you
heard a lot
speak
of
to.
people like panic, and like people are like, "Oh, it's just a bit like generic," or whatever.
Right.
It's just an example. That's not what I picked.
Right.
Or that acts like a remake because they want to remake something, but it's too recent, so they prequel it, and then it's a disappointment. Like some people would say, a Phantom Menace. Like it is a prequel, but it's sort of a remake. It's a very similar story.
It's not a remake.
Well, it's not a remake. It's a prequel.
The
but
seventh
it's remaking the seventh film. Then
the seventh film wasn't. It was the same story.
Also, it's basically a remake of the original Star Wars, but with a bit of nostalgia porn in it, and it's kind of like
Yeah.
Which now they're
What's
all pretty
worse?
tricky. It's pretty tricky to pick which one of those is worse.
Can you read them off again, please?
No. The bad remake of a
Worst
good
is the
film.
first one.
yeah.
Bad remake of a good film is the worst.
Right.
Well, the thing is, it does take some thinking about, and I actually found a film that does all three of those things. That's right. I found a film that is an unfaithful adaptation of a prequel of an already loved film franchise that had been made once and people didn't like it, so it was disappointing when it came out again and was bad.
Okay.
I know.
Okay.
I know. It's a lot to swallow, right? And you're probably thinking, wow, Seb, that is a wild and intense accusation. It's almost so wild I don't believe it.
I was thinking
Well,
that.
fucking believe it, baby. For the worst movie remake of all time, I have chosen The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. Now, wait, I hear you. What's that? It's the elephant in the room. I can hear. Why are you sighing?
Carry on with
What's
your...
it a remake of?
Well,
Carry on.
right. Why do you always get so upset when I think outside the box?
No,
What do you want me
I'm
to
just
do?
trying to think. I can't think of
Just go through
what.
one of those- should I just go through a Watch Mojo list and pick number 2, and then we all just
No.
fucking go on?
I'm
picked number one,
seriously
surely.
trying to think. Because I know that
'cause you picked number
technically, you could say technically The Lord of the Rings is a remake because there was an animated film of it before, but I can't think of a
Not a
Hobbit
remake
movie.
of the Bashki films.
No, I know. It's technically not, but you could maybe say that. But I can't think of a
Wrong.
Hobbit. There wasn't a
Wrong.
Hobbit movie.
Wrong. You're fucking wrong. Because in 1977, Warner Video released The Hobbit, an animated retelling of J.R.R. Tolkien's original book.
Oh, okay.
So it's a different adaptation. Okay.
Well, it's a remake.
No, it's a different adaptation of the same source material. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you could say that about anything. You could say that about the remake of It or whatever. Like, it's a remake of a book. It's still a remake.
Karen with your
What year did
story.
this come out in?
He's saying that it's a remake of the same original source material, but it's not a remake because
It's not a
even
remake.
though it's a remake, Well, it is because they're remaking a film they've already remade. I don't
They're
know what
adapting
more
a
you want.
book. They're adapting a very
this was a
popular book.
Rankin Bass. Yeah, this was a okay.
But it's like, say if like, hang on, so wait, so are you saying that like, if they remade Harry Potter now, that wouldn't be a remake because it was just redoing the same books? You wouldn't call that a remake?
I'd say
But
it's
if
a
they
remake because the movies are more popular than the books, as popular as the books are. Whereas I don't think the Hobbit movie from 77, which me and Mork, who are both big into Tolkien, had no idea existed until you just said it, is bigger than the book The Hobbit. That's why I think it... Carry on.
It's kind of it's in a very grey area. I appreciate.
I don't want to do a Sherlock Holmes again. I don't care. Just carry on. I just don't care.
I'm not. We need to hear this.
Just
this is outrageous.
Carry on.
Again, this is just you two best mates and someone you vaguely know, and it's just like, oh, if Vinny did this, you'd be laughing it up. Now, look.
No, because the thing is, I'd already thought about the Lord of the Rings if it was a remake of the animated films, and I'd already kind of decided I'm not sure if it is a remake because. If it was a live action, if it was like a live action movie, and they were like, right, we're going to do the live action movie again.
No, this is trust. Because what about the remake of The Little Mermaid, the remake of Lion King? They're animated films. They've remade it in live action. You're just arbitrarily picking rules now. This is absurd. It's technically a remake. I'm not saying that it's like a remake in the traditional sense of the term. I just try to think a bit outside of the box.
I would just say the Lord of the Rings, Peter Jackson Lord of the Rings are definitely not a remake of the Bashki film because they didn't. They did not use the Bashki film as a source material. 1,000,000,000% they did not. If you've ever seen the Bashki film, you'll know that they did not. They used the books, and that's it.
If they remade a new set of Lord of the Rings films now, based on the books, not the films, you would still call it a remake.
I think because the movies are more popular than the books.
Yeah,
that's why. So people know the movies more than the books, so then people will say it's a remake.
Until The Hobbit: An Unexpected Journey came out, the only Hobbit film was the Bashki film, The Hobbit.
Bashki did The Hobbit?
No, it was done by I was just looking.
It's done by a different. Sorry, not by. It was the Warner Brothers.
Rankin and Baskin or something like that. Yeah,
whatever. Yeah. That was the only The Hobbit film.
Yeah.
If you typed in The Hobbit film in 2011, the film that came up was the film.
That doesn't mean they used it as a source material. That's
not what makes that's an arbitrary.
Yes, it does. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Well, let's allow it anyway. Let's allow it. I'll say we'll allow
again.
It. Come on,
let's just go. Just go. Yeah, I don't care. I'm bored of this. I'm bored.
Let's allow it. Bored. It's a remake.
Yeah. Anyway, look. So the 1977 The Hobbit was widely regarded as terrible. It was mostly made for contractual reasons so that the Tolkien estate wouldn't have to give the rights back. It's very confusing. They basically had a deal with Warner Brothers, and if Warner Brothers didn't make a film soon, the rights would go back to someone else. So they just ground out this film.
That seems to happen a lot, doesn't it? Didn't that happen with Spider-Man like twice?
Sony didn't want to give up the rights back to Marvel that they bought just cheap when Marvel was going downtown, so they just pumped out the Amazing Spider-Man. Yeah.
So, in fact, it was made so quickly and lazily that in some places the animation is unfinished. And one famous Tolkien scholar described it as execrable, aka extremely unpleasant, like excrement.
What a great, just a Tolkien fan to come up with like an insult like that. That's so obscure.
Yeah, make up his own language just to insult something made up from a made up language.
Execrable, yeah, that's great.
Love that.
Well, for a long time, that was the only way that Tolkien fans could enjoy watching The Hobbit. And then in 2001 came Peter Jackson's award-winning Fellowship of the Ring, the first in a 3-part saga of Lord of the Rings movies. And all 3 were fucking brilliant. They won Oscars, they launched careers, they broke Viggo Mortensen's toe. And of course, those films were done and dusted by 2003. 2003, they're done.
Yeah.
And everyone's saying the same thing. Peter! When are you doing The Hobbit?
Peter,
when Lois Griffin joined this conversation.
when are you going to do The Hobbit?
Yeah.
And in 2008, the announcement everyone's been waiting for. New Line and Warner, they've got Peter Jackson back on board, and he's going to do The Hobbit. But he's not going to direct it. He's just going to write it. He's going to write the screenplay, and it's going to be directed by his mate Guillermo del Toro and released in December 2011. And everyone
But he did direct it, didn't he?
Well, let me get there.
Yeah, I remember
So
that. I remember Del Toro. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that being a thing. Shit, yeah.
So everyone's pumped. Everyone's like, we're getting exactly what we want.
Yeah.
And they announced it as 2 movies, which already everyone's a bit like, 2 movies from 1 book? That seems like a lot from 1 book, but we'll get back to that. Everyone's pumped. It was the prequel to the films they all loved, and it was the remake of the 1977 film that everyone hated. So it's the dream. Everyone's getting what they want, right? It couldn't fail. And then it did. So in 2010, Guillermo del Toro pulled out of the directing the movies because a number of delays caused by New Line and Warner Brothers getting into financial difficulties. This sudden exit meant that Peter Jackson had to step back in and direct them, which is specifically what he said he didn't want to do. He signed up to write them based purely on the fact that he wouldn't have to direct them. And then he did. And it meant that whereas when Peter Jackson had directed Lord of the Rings, he'd spent 3 years prepping. This time he had like a couple of months, and they went into shooting with an unfinished script and no storyboards.
Wow.
So they were literally just making it up as they went along. Like they just get on set and be like, right, fucking Frodo, you go over there, let's fucking film some shit. Like that's it. They literally had no idea. Bilbo, sorry. Like, and worse than that, because they wanted to get it over and done with, they shot it back to back to back. That's right. There's a third back in there because this movie, which took 266 consecutive days of shooting, was split into 3 films.
They also did that with the Lord of the Rings, though. Shot them back to back to back.
Yeah, because
but they wanted to do that. Yeah.
And they knew what they were doing. And it wasn't supposed to be 3 films, but basically it all just got so out of hand. They didn't know what they were shooting. They just shot so much extra shit, and the story got really convoluted, confusing. They were like, oh, it's just going to have to be 3 films. And to put that into perspective, The Hobbit is 310 pages long, right? They made 3 films out of it.
266 days of acting.
The first Lord of the Rings book, is 450 pages. And they made it into 1 film. And you're probably thinking, does that basically shooting a page and a bit a day showing the final product of this film franchise, or the first film, The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey? Well, yes, it fucking does. Because I vividly remember the utter disappointment when I watched The Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey. Why? Let me tell you. Firstly, it's 3 hours long.
Is it?
It's a third of a book, and it's 3 hours long, and it's filled with a bunch of stuff that's not in the book because they needed to pad it out into 3 movies. And I don't care what anyone says, like, oh yeah, it's just because Peter Jackson had a vision. No, it's not. It's because they wanted to get 3 films out of their last dregs of a franchise. They made 3 films out of Lord of the Rings, and they were like, well, we want 3 more. Let's make 3 out of The Hobbit.
Yeah, I do not think that was Peter Jackson's original image. I do not believe that whatsoever.
At that point, you're doing, 103.3 pages of film.
But if they filmed it with stuff that is okay, like that's
not
a bad thing.
But it's not filled with stuff that's okay. It's filled with dross and shit, right? The second thing is, not only is it filled with a bunch of crap that's not in the books and it's just padding, the whole thing is filmed at a really weird frame rate, so everyone looks like they're walking around in the 1950s. Or like when you see like colorized war footage and everyone's like walking all weird and fast. It looks like that. It's also 2 HD. Yeah, it was filmed at 48 frames a second for no reason whatsoever.
I'm bad at noticing that kind of shit, so
it looks awful. It's really weird.
Because films are normally in 24 FPS. So
24.
Yeah.
When you double it,
And then they tried to, but then they had to step it back down because most cinemas can't show 48 frames a second. So it just looks really like weird, and everyone's walking too fast, and everything's too smooth. And on top of that, it was filmed on like new cameras when Peter Jackson had previously filmed on like old cameras. So it's all way too HD, and so there's none of the smooth he's used to. So you can literally see people's wigs and makeup. because
Yeah.
it just like it's filmed so badly. You can see fucking Bilbo's stupid hair. And lastly, right, I watched this film. I was excited because I wasn't able to watch the original Lord of the Rings in the cinema. I had to watch it at home because I didn't go to cinema when I was like that young. And then I was like, right, I'm so excited. I'm like 16. I get to watch this new entry into this franchise that's so beloved. It's going to be great. It's 3 hours, right? At the end of the 3-hour film, it doesn't end when they get to the Lonely Mountain. It ends when they see it from far away. They go, oh, look, there it is. There's where we're going. There's the point of this film in the distance. Fucking roll to credits. Are you actually fucking me? Are you taking the piss? That is... What is that? I actually remember, despite the fact that it was 3 hours long, it ending and me being like, what? It's over. Like, that's it.
You know there's 2 more movies.
I don't care if there's 2 more. There shouldn't be 2 more movies. What are you fucking talking about?
Yeah,
they just... What, if you just like... I don't understand. Like, if you're watching Ocean's 11 and it just cut when they got to the casino and we're like, that's the... Or not when they got to the casino, but when they're driving and over the hill they see Las Vegas in the distance and it just goes, oh, that's where the casino is. And it just cuts the fucking credits. Outrageously shit. Outrageous.
Right, here's my counterpoint. Let's say you were enjoying the film. You were enjoying the added stuff. It's Tolkien.
Yeah, but I wasn't.
You know, but let's say someone was enjoying the extra Tolkien stuff and they're just enjoying the world of Tolkien.
But it's not extra Tolkien stuff.
But maybe saying like, oh, well, it is because you got, Tolkien characters on screen talking to each other.
It's Middle-earth.
You're watching a Middle-earth story.
Lord of the Rings stuff. It's not Tolkien stuff because it's nothing Tolkien wrote.
So it is
all the characters Tolkien wrote.
Yeah, you're watching his world unfold, aren't you? At the end of the day.
Yeah.
But if you're enjoying that, you might want a bit more of it. You might want 3 movies and it to be really long and extended out, just because you just never want it to end.
You can play devil's advocate all you want, but I know you think it's stupid that they made 3 Hobbit films. I know you do because you've said it before. So, like, I don't know. That's stupid.
To play devil's advocate again, I seem to remember you, our friend Nathan, and our friend Charlotte, I'm going to call her. We went to the midnight release of The Lord of the Ring, of The Hobbit, The Battle of Five Armies, the finale.
It was shit.
Yeah.
And we were all hyped. We were hyped as fuck. We were buzzing to go and see it, and we watched it, and it was good, and we were like, yeah, that was sick.
No, everyone was hyped when Phantom Menace came out, and then on reflection, it's terrible, because we
liked it when we watched it.
I love Phantom Menace as a kid.
Yo!
I'm not even doing this. It was
you
bad.
Liked it when we watched it. I like that movie.
You like the Hobbit trilogy? You think the Hobbit trilogy is good?
I like it.
I don't hate it. I enjoy watching it.
It's like a 6 out of 10.
There's a bit that are slow. There's bits that are slow, and I'm like, oh, this could have been better. This could have been better. This could have been better. But I just want to watch.
Still kind of fun.
I could watch, even if they made it 100 hours long, I'd still watch it and enjoy it because I enjoy seeing those characters.
That's manipulating you. Like, they could have made a better film, but they knew that people like us who love the franchise would go and watch it anyway. That's worse, because it's only enjoyable because it has characters that you want to see. People from previous films that they dragged out of fucking care homes to star in it, that aren't in it. Legolas isn't in it. It's just like, oh, it's Legolas again. And I remember at the time, like, oh, it's fucking Legolas. Now, looking back, I'm offended by that because it's shit. You can't just like it is. If they just made one really good Hobbit film, we'd be like, oh yeah, great, good on you. But to just be like, shall we just do Lord of the Rings again? Because it is basically a remake, because they just pull all those characters back that aren't in the book, they aren't in the source material. So if you're talking about, oh, it has to be from the source material, well, the source material for The Hobbit was Lord of the Rings, because they fucking bought Legolas out of fucking nowhere, Sauron out of fucking nowhere. They're not in the source material. So objectively, the source material for The Hobbit and Unexpected Journey is the previous Lord of the Rings franchise.
That doesn't make it a remake of Lord of the Rings. That's not true. It's not a remake of that. Let's just put that out there. It takes like one of the characters from it because it's a popular character. That's it.
It takes 3 of the characters from it.
3? Oh, is there other elves as well?
Yeah, there's Lord of the Rings, fucking
No, the
Man from
elves.
Matrix.
What do you mean, Lord of the
Elrond.
Rings?
There's Elrond. He's not in the.
You said there's Lord of the Rings. That's a
Sauron.
Sorry,
character.
there's fucking Sauron, fucking
okay.
Legolas,
Elrond.
and Elrond
And Elrond, yeah.
And Galadriel.
and Galadriel. None of these people are in the
Galadriel.
original. It's just literally fucking Ian McKellen. Obviously, he is in the book, but fuck me, they just like dragged him out. Which leads me on to my next point. Not only is this film bad, but when I actually started looking into this film, it's atrocious. Ian McKellen nearly had a breakdown from working on it because they made him use green screens. He specifically said he didn't want to work on green screens, and they just made him anyway. It's why, and he just hated it because he wasn't with anyone. He was just like dancing around on a big green palette on his own. And then he like vowed to like never do mainstream films again. So that was fucking shit. And they accidentally killed 27 animals,
What?
including horses, goats, chickens, and a sheep.
With all that green
Accidentally,
screens.
you said.
With all that green screening, they what?
Yeah, because
How?
it's so rushed and hectic. Because they were just like making up shots on the go, and like no one knew
Do you know
what was going on.
how that happened? Was it all in one go, or was it just?
No, it was just like over the course of the film from like maltreatment and not really being very organised.
God.
And on top of that, they changed the law in New Zealand. They lowered labour laws so that it could be made in New Zealand, which then massively lowered the standards once they'd left. Didn't change the laws back because fucking, what's the word? Warner Brothers wanted to make it on the cheap. So they said, all right, if you don't let us pay people less, we're not making it in New Zealand. And then New Zealand changed the law so they would make it there. And then they didn't change it back. So it permanently damaged the film economy of New Zealand.
God.
Yeah, but they got to shoot in New Zealand, so
Right.
they got to use the old
Fair.
Hobbiton set. So,
No, they didn't. They had to remake the Hobbiton set because they destroyed it.
oh well, it's there now. That's a really good thing about the movie. You can actually go and visit it now. It's a permanent structure.
I'd say that's probably the only good thing is they built Hobbiton permanently. That's the only thing that this film did that was positive. Other than that, it killed a bunch of animals, nearly killed Ian McKellen, and killed the film industry in New Zealand, and killed a book and film franchise. Now, look,
I didn't kill it.
You can.
You got that Amazon Prime series that came out recently. And that was like the most expensive series of all time.
Rings of Power.
Yeah.
It was a bit mid.
I actually completely forgot it existed until someone mentioned it.
I really
I was like,
like it,
and I was like, oh yeah, I remember that.
I have my gripes of it, but it was good.
It's just kind of
was
mediocre, but it was fun.
Would you call that a remake?
No. Stop trying to make
It's a
everything a
film
remake. Not
adaptation
everything's a fucking remake just because something
it's a
existed
film
before that
adaptation
was.
of books that are. It's film adaptation of loads of books.
It's its own story
its own
based off
contained
of,
story.
but based off of lore.
It's based off
from,
the Silmarillion,
Yeah.
Unfinished Tales, all that kind of stuff. It just amalgamates.
Yeah, all right,
things.
all
I think it
Fair
got.
enough.
I think it made
Rings
up a
of
lot of
Power
stuff
is a
while it
remake.
went along as well. I think.
Yeah, it's
Rings
not.
of
It's not
Power is not a
remake at all.
remake, but
No.
Rings of
This
Power
is
is
a
the
remake.
worst remake of all time. Go.
anyway, look, you can fucking Jaws the shark me again and just move the goalposts, but I know
You're moving the goalposts. What are you saying? You're coming to us and you're saying an adaptation is a remake. That's just not true.
Well, no, because if there hadn't already been a previous
They did not
adaptation
use
of it-
they did not use the 77 movie 1,000,000%. They did not even
But
watch
Sam,
it, even look
I'm
at
just
the
confused
poster of
because,
it to make that film. They looked at the book. They added extra things. Like, yeah, it's
But
extra,
no,
but it's still the
but
book
like
they're
earlier,
basing
we
off.
talked about it. It is based on a book. So if would you say that because
I think
It's
when you
'cause
go into
it's
the book things, it makes it very difficult because you're always adapting the book, aren't you? No matter what, you're always adapting the book. That's the original.
Yeah.
You can't remake a book. It's like Vinny wanted to do The Last Airbender as a remake of the animated series, and I said no. Because
Yeah,
it's a
'cause
film
it's
adaptation
an
of the
adaptation.
animated series. But
I would have said that was fine.
And the thing is, right,
it's so difficult because
the thing is,
it's hard to tell whether you're remaking a previous film or whether you're adapting the previous
Here's
book.
what's difficult. Here's what's difficult.
Yeah.
Is what happens is I try and think of an interesting
Wrong
way
answer.
of looking at it.
Wrong answer.
And then you guys go, it just like doesn't fit with my vibe.
No, you're just wrong. Seb, you're just wrong. I'm sorry, but you're just flat out wrong. Stop trying to weasel your way back into this.
No, you pick a thing. And
the Wicker Man, the 2006 Wicker Man, like there was a book before the 73 Wicker Man. There was a book that it was based off of, and the 2006 one is actually closer to the book than the film. But there is no way in hell the 2006 film doesn't come out if the original 73 Wicker Man wasn't already a cult classic, a beloved cult classic with a fan base. That's why it's a remake, even though it probably takes more from the book than it does from the film. It doesn't exist without the original.
You're always trying to decide whether you're remaking the previous film or whether you're adapting the original again.
No one knew the 77 Hobbit film existed. If it didn't exist, they would have still made The Hobbit anyway.
You said more people know about The Wicker Man 2006 than know about the original.
They do now, after they made the 2006 Wicker Man, and it was bad in a funny way.
Hobbit, An Unexpected Journey, no one had heard of it. So the people, if they'd never made this film and you said, "Oh, what's the Hobbit movie?" and you Googled it, it would be the other Hobbit movie.
What do you mean? Yeah, but it's not. What do you mean? They didn't make it because of the Hobbit film originally. They weren't like, oh, that was a really shit film. Let's see if we can do a better job. They saw the book, and it's a very popular book even to this day, which is why they were like, let's make that into a big film.
I'd argue they saw the 3 films previously that did very well.
With that, obviously, that's a very big part of it as well.
Like that's the next. So it was based on a set of films that did very, very well, and they even pulled characters from those films that weren't in the source material originally. So it's based on. You can't have it. You can't have your cake and eat it. It's
based on the book, but it lifts a couple elements from the Lord of the Rings film. What do you mean? What do you mean the Hobbit films are not based on the book? Sebek said it first. The Hobbit wasn't the source material of the fucking Hobbit films. What are you chatting?
What I'm saying is you can't have your cake and eat it. It's either.
What do you mean?
It's either a remake. It's either not a remake of the original animated Hobbit, which therefore means the motivation behind it was the 3 films previously to it that did very well, and then they lifted characters from, which means that it was based on the source material of the book, of the film, which is the thing that you're getting so irate about, or it was based on the original film that was really bad and they remade it. You can't have it both ways. You can't say it was based...
They didn't do the second one, though. What do you mean both ways? They did the first one, not the second one.
Well, so the first one, so they based it off of the fact that those 3 films did really well, and then they lifted characters from it. And
no, they based off the book because the book's super popular still to this day. The book is still very popular, and then the fact that the movies did so well was just an extra plus. And then they were like, because they did so well, let's lift a couple characters. It doesn't change the story really at all with them not having Legolas. Like he's like an extra kind of character, but he doesn't change the story particularly. Yeah, it's more fan service.
I feel in my heart that you guys sound like you're deliberately trying to find ways for me to be wrong, because every aspect.
I don't want to hear this.
And also, it's just an interesting pick. It's just not.
I'm willing to accept it as a pick, as a remake, because there is a previous movie before. I would be like, well. It's probably more on the verge of a new adaptation of the book, but there's a previous movie, so I guess they remade a movie that existed.
I admit it would be weak if it was just that, but it was also deliberately designed to replicate 3 films that came before it, and almost it pulled characters from those films.
You can't say The Hobbit's remaking The Lord of the Rings, though. That wouldn't work.
No, you can't say it's remaking Lord of the Rings, and you almost can't say it's remaking the original animation, but you can kind of say it's trying to do a bit of halfway in between. It's trying to It's technically a remake of the animation, right? It is technically a remake.
No, it's not technically.
It absolutely is. It absolutely technically is. It just doesn't fit with your idea of what it is.
Squint hard enough, I guess, if you look for it.
It's remaking a film that's already existed. That's the definition.
Yeah, I can kind of accept it because there's a film that's already out.
If you don't like that concept, then it's fair. But it is technically... Like it is, they made a film and then they made another version of the film. Like it just is that based on the same script.
I can accept that kind of thing. Yeah.
Anyway, look, that's my pick. I think it's a
The Hobbit is
bad
your pick, right?
of a remake of a thing that should have been good the first time. People really wanted the animated series to be good, the animated films to be good, and they were bad. And then they remade it into a film and it was terrible. I hate the Hobbit. I think it's egregiously like money grabbing and like way too long and was padded out and shit. And they also tried to kind of jump off the back of and steal characters from a film franchise that people already loved and did that badly as well. I would argue it's a double remake. It's a dreamake.
Okay, I never thought of The Hobbit as a remake until 5 minutes ago.
Tenuous. It is tenuous, but it's an interesting way of looking at it.
Yeah.
Calling
Here's the thing,
cereal
I'm just-
soup is an interesting way of looking at cereal. Doesn't mean it's fucking soup.
Yeah, but what's the best soup? And I say cornflakes. That would be an interesting episode.
It'd be a fucking stupid answer because it's not. It's not.
No, it's an interesting spin, but I'm just looking at a Reddit thread now about whether people do or do not hate the Hobbit trilogy. And these are the nerds. These are the nerds. And the general consensus is some people really don't like it. I would say that's probably the minority on here. Most people say it's okay. It's fine. It's fine for what it is.
Yeah.
And then there's a big strong argument of, well, if the Lord of the Rings never existed and we only ever had the Hobbit, people would probably like it a hell of a lot more. Because how do you follow that up? Do you know what I mean? How do you follow up the greatest film trilogy of all time? Objectively, the greatest film trilogy of all time. You go from that, which is 3 really long movies, long dialogue passages, blah, blah, blah. You have all of that, and then you go into basically doing that all over again, but a little bit worse. It's obviously going to be seen as a lot worse. You can't fucking follow it up. So maybe they should have made it a lot more condensed and, better in that regard. But on the other hand, I don't think they're really terrible films.
I don't think they're terrible.
Like, I wouldn't put them in with, think of what are some of the worst films you've ever seen.
The Jelly Bean.
The Gummy Bear
Christmas film. Yeah.
Jaws 4, Seb. Jaws 3. All right? Think of all the films that you fucking hate. The Hobbit is not quite at the level of shitness as that. There's loads of good bits. Smaug is incredible. The Bilbo meeting Smaug, that's great.
As Benedict Cumberbatch's Smaug, I think was great
Brilliant.
casting.
The characters are still good. Thorin Oakenshield's a great character. Martin Freeman as Bilbo is great. Bilbo meeting Gollum, Riddles in the Dark. That's a fantastic
that's a cool scene.
What have I got in my pocket?
And
the thing is, even the stuff they added, like Gandalf's whole storyline and stuff like that. I know they added that and it's fans, and we can always say, it's fucking fans, so it shouldn't be there. But if you just watch it, it's still good. It's still good passages. It's good entertaining. It's still good storytelling. And a lot of people on this thread are saying the Gandalf storyline of it is probably the best, strongest storyline in the movie. It adds so much mystery about all of it and the sorcery and stuff like that. The CGI is a bit worse probably than, obviously mainly CGI. A lot of the Lord of the Rings originally was practical effects, and CGI orcs were a massive contention when The Hobbit came out, which is why the Rings of Power, you're shitting on it, doesn't have CGI orcs. It has practical effects orcs.
Yeah, there are real guys on there, yeah.
Rings of Power is not as bad as you thought.
That explains probably why it was so expensive to fucking hire all those
Rings of Power
dudes.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That also wouldn't exist without the Lord of the Rings films, actually.
Sorry?
The Rings of Power wouldn't exist without the Lord of the Rings films either, I don't think.
Oh god, no, of course not.
Yeah.
No. But that's the thing. I don't think that The Hobbit is objectively that terrible. I'm a massive Lord of the Rings nerd, a massive Tolkien nerd. It's established. But I can enjoy watching those films. I can see all the flaws. I can see they're too long and all this. But even the long bits, like The Unexpected Journey, the second one's my least favorite of the franchise, of that series.
Not the third one?
The third one, no, the second one probably. The third one, I enjoy watching. It's just a giant battle scene.
Yeah, I think I agree with you.
It's good to watch. It's good to watch. But the first one,
but yeah.
the first one's actually maybe even the strongest entry.
I think it's
What?
by far the best one of the three.
Yeah, because you have like it's very similar to the Fellowship. The Fellowship doesn't actually have that much going on. The first like hour is just talking in Bilbo's house, and it's the same with The Hobbit. It's just them talking about going on the journey and the song and putting all the plates away. And I really enjoy that. Tolkien's about language, and so a long talking scene establishing, I don't mind. I think that's quite good. And the Riddles in the Dark is in the first one, setting up Gandalf going to Rivendell, the White Council, all that's in the first one. So I just don't think they're that bad. I don't think the Hobbit movies are that atrocious. They're not like the worst movies of all time ever made.
No, I think what my point is I like the way I like to do it, which I think always ends badly. I've got to stop doing this because it's just not how you guys think. But I like to look at the point of what makes something good or bad, and then see if it ticks those points. And I think it fails at every single expectation that those films had. I think the only reason that they are serviceable is stuff that was pulled that already existed. Nothing new. And again, it comes into like why it's kind of. I mean, you can debate it. Maybe you don't think it's a remake. I think it's a remake, but what makes it the only things that make it good are things that were pulled from films that already existed. There's nothing new about like the only reason you enjoy it is because it has people and characters and a world from the film franchise that you already enjoyed, and they literally just copy and pasted that over and just put new characters, very similar vibe in a very similar place with in some cases.
But I can still enjoy it. Yeah. The thing is with expectations, they're never going to be met, are they? That's the thing. But I think The Wicker Man is objectively horrible as a film. Watch that film. It's objectively
It's very funny at points.
Horrible movie.
It is. Yeah, it is. There's again.
But it's not
like,
meant to be funny. That's worse.
Yeah. It's meant to be scary. It's meant to be a serious, scary film. It is not serious or scary. It's barely a film.
Like they took a film that was beloved by everyone who kind of watched it and butchered it, and is now. It's in one of top movies of all time that are terrible. The Wicker Man is fucking horrible. Like you won't meet someone who says, "Oh, I loved the 2006 Wicker Man." Whereas I think with The Hobbit, there are fans of those films. Those films don't stack up with people's worst movies I've ever watched all the time. They don't like them because they didn't meet their expectations. Expectations will never be met.
They were just
as standalone films. They're still they're fine.
Yeah.
Even at their very worst, they're fine.
I mean, that's the thing.
At their best, they're good.
They annoyed me, and I assumed they'd annoyed you because you the original films and stuff like that. So I assumed that we would be on the same page with it. Obviously, they annoy me more than they annoy you, and more importantly, people on Reddit who have become a litmus test for the show. But they annoy me, and I think they're a bad. They it felt like a letdown when they came out. They are.
That's the thing. But you can never hold it to the Lord of the Rings. That's what people. Need
You can with a remake. You can with a remake. You hold
The Hobbit's not a remake
to
the Lord of the Rings, though.
It isn't.
Don't you dare say it is.
It's not,
I do not get me ranting again.
It's not the same story.
Do you not? My blood pressure is very high right now, Sebek. Please.
No, it's not. It's not by. It's exactly. It's not by technically a remake of Lord of the Rings. I do think it is technically a remake of the original film, but I think that it used the Lord of the Rings to gain traction, and like that is.
But it wasn't as good as the other. It wasn't as good as the other like media in the franchise. Yeah,
exactly. Which I would like. Yeah, I'd say is like.
Yeah. But you're always going to fall. The thing is, when the Lord of the Rings are so good, it doesn't matter what. The Rings of Power could have been a fucking 10 out of 10. I guarantee everyone would have said it was worse than Lord of the Rings. People would still hate it because it's not. Every single thing that they ever make to do with the Lord of the Rings in the future will be hated on for not being as good as the Lord of the Rings. That's just a fact. It doesn't matter how good it is. It can be objectively pretty good. It's always going to be worse in the public's eyes because. Oh yeah, but it's not as good as. Do you know what I mean? It's like imagine eating the best cake in your entire life, and it's the first cake you eat is going to be objectively the best cake you ever eat in your entire life. You're going to eat cakes afterwards that are going to be good, but you're always going to be like, yeah, but not as good as that one, so probably fucking shit then. That's The Hobbit. It is I think they are good watching movies. I think they are good movies. I enjoy watching them. I can sit back and be like, you know what? Watch The Hobbit, bit of Tolkien, bit of fucking Lord of the Rings. Let's watch a bit of Bilbo running around. There's a bit of Middle Earth. It's got Gollum in it, and I can enjoy it. There's good fight scenes. It's well acted. It's well shot. But obviously it's never going to be The Lord of the Rings. But The Wicker Man, obviously, is going to be the worst movie remake of all time. It's not the worst movie remake of all time for me is Old Boy 2013, but Wicker Man is apparently now the worst movie remake of all time. It's got a fucking bees bit in it. The bear punching the woman in the face. Like,
that's what I mean. Excluding like 20, if you could take those 20 minutes outside of the film and just that's the film. It's a funny film. It's great. It's just you also have to sit through another hour and 20, hour 30 of just fucking dull bollocks shit, dross, crap, uninteresting. Like, it makes me like my penis inverts into like my body. It becomes a vagina.
Even with the funny things, I think
include
the funny parts in because it's not supposed to be funny.
I'm actually quite drunk.
Like, it's not a compliment to say it's good because it's funny. It's not supposed to be funny.
Yeah, like, no, it's not supposed to.
That's true. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, it's like we'll talk about Jaws last. Actually, it was last episode, wasn't it? The woke Christmas film.
Oh shit, we've done 2 films in a row. Never mind.
2 woke Christmas, 2 woke films.
2 woke films in a row.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I think we should wrap this up because we've been going for a long time.
Yes.
Wow. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
It's okay. You can edit out a lot of disagreement there.
Fucking 1 hour 53. Jesus Christ.
It's not the longest one we've done. We've done some really long ones recently, like the top 6s. Fucking hell, they go on. Anyway, so The Hobbit's great, and The Wicker Man fucking sucks. No, The Wicker Man is the worst movie remake of all time. Not in my eyes, but there we go. And that's the end of the show. If you enjoyed us screaming at each other about what is a film remake, and you want to hear us scream at each other next week about
He's got it.
If you want to hear us scream again next week at each other about who is the greatest chef of all time, you can hear me and Vinny screaming at each other about who is the greatest chef of all time.
Oh yeah.
Hint,
the answer is Chef from South Park. Although, is he really a chef? Because he's technically not a real person. What do you reckon? Then,
don't pick Chef from South Park.
Subscribe to this podcast on your podcast player of choice. Follow us on Instagram and join us next week for some more actual goats rather than woats. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Oh my god.
There we go.